Stop scrolling. Do not move. Do not click away. You found this for a reason, and if you leave now, you will miss the moment your life turns. I am telling you right here, right now, something is about to speak into the deepest part of your heart, and once you hear it, you will never be the same again. Stay with me for just a few minutes and watch how everything inside you shifts. There are billions of videos out there, millions of voices competing for your attention, yet somehow your path intersected with this exact moment. Coincidence? Absolutely not. Something bigger is happening. Something unseen. Something that tugged you here because you are meant to hear this word. You are meant to receive what heaven is releasing, and you are meant to step into what has been waiting for you all along. Listen closely. There are moments in your life where time slows down, where noise fades, where the universe itself seems to lean in, and where the whispers you ignored for years suddenly turn into a thunder that demands your attention. This is one of those moments. You are not watching by accident. You are here because something in you sensed that this is different, and your spirit is picking up something your mind hasn't fully registered yet. If you stay, if you lean in, if you open your heart, you will discover that this moment is not something you stumbled into. It is something carved into your timeline long before you understood its meaning. I want you to breathe for a second. Feel the air inside your lungs. Feel the beat inside your chest. Those breaths are not random. That heartbeat is not by chance. You are alive in this exact hour because there is still purpose placed on your existence that has not yet unfolded. You have survived too much, endured too many storms, walked through nights darker than you ever dared confess, for this moment to just pass you by. Your life has not been a string of accidents. Every twist, every delay, every heartbreak, every victory has been leading to this pivot point. You are standing at a threshold, and what comes next matters more than anything behind you. You've carried questions, heavy ones, silent ones. You've looked at the sky and wondered if anyone up there heard you. You've stared at ceilings at 3 a.m. replaying decisions, fears, regrets, hopes. You've whispered things you never said aloud because you were tired, exhausted even, and unsure if God still saw you, still cared for you, or if you had somehow slipped too far beyond what grace was willing to reach. Let me tell you something now, with clarity. You have never been unseen. You have never been ignored. You have never been out of reach. You have been walking through a season that felt like silence, but silence does not mean abandonment. It means preparation. The cocoon is quiet, but transformation happens inside it. Seeds are buried in darkness before they sprout. Mountains are shaped long before the world notices their form. And you, yes, you, have been forming, strengthening, changing beneath the surface where nobody else could see. You didn't break in the waiting season. You became. You may not have realized it, but the nights you barely survived were forging something inside you that could not be shaken. The disappointments that left you breathless were clearing away the people, places, and habits that could never walk with you into the life you are stepping into. The loneliness you hated was stretching your capacity to hear whispers instead of noise. The wounds you thought would destroy you were actually carving deeper space inside your soul to hold blessing when it arrives. And it is arriving. Even now, doors are shifting. Paths you thought had closed forever are unlocking. Opportunities that once felt unreachable are turning their attention back toward you. There is movement in the unseen, and though your eyes cannot yet detect it, your spirit already knows something is changing. That is why you felt a pull to stop here. Something in you recognized the moment before your mind could name it. There is something you must understand. Life is not random. You are not drifting. You are being guided into a future bigger than anything you left behind. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time for everything heaven has aligned for you. You just needed to stay alive long enough to witness it. And look at you. You're still here. You survived heartbreak that should have shattered you. You survived losses that could have ended you. You survived seasons where you gave more than you received, loved harder than you were loved back, and walked roads no one else could walk for you. You are still breathing, and that is the proof that your assignment is not finished. There is something inside you the world needs, something that cannot be duplicated, imitated, or replaced. You are carrying a story nobody else can tell, a strength nobody else can live out, a fire nobody else can burn with. The world is darker than it used to be, and the reason you are here is because you hold a light inside you that was made for this exact kind of darkness. Maybe your life hasn't matched what you once imagined. Maybe dreams you held close slipped through your fingers. Maybe you built plans that collapsed, relationships that crumbled, or expectations that faded away. But what if I told you the disappointment was not the ending, was the rerouting? What if what died wasn't meant to last? What if what you lost wasn't meant to carry you forever? What if your pain was pointing you towards something so much greater that you couldn't have reached any other way? Sometimes God lets things fall apart so the right things can fall into place. Sometimes He closes the door you kept knocking on because He doesn't want you trapped in a room too small for who you're becoming. Sometimes He lets people walk away because they were only assigned to the first chapters of your story, not the ones about to be written. And what is about to be written? Something greater than anything you've tasted so far. Something that matches the size of your calling, not the size of your fear. Something that proves every tear, every late night, every heartbreak had purpose. You haven't even seen the best of your life yet. Now hear this deeply. Your future needs you awake, present, focused. You cannot sleepwalk anymore. You cannot drift on autopilot. You cannot numb yourself with distraction, entertainment, or endless scrolling. Not now. Not when breakthrough is pressing against your door. You must be alert enough to recognize the moment when it opens. Because it is opening. Right now, the gears are turning. The locks are clicking. The things aligning for you are moving faster than you realize. Every prayer you whispered has been recorded. Every moment you felt small has been seen. Every step you took when no one was cheering has been multiplied. You are stepping into a time where the invisible will become visible, where the impossible will become tangible, and where what you believed only in faith will show up in your sight. This is why you must not turn away now. This is why you must not ignore the stirring in your heart. Something is coming that will require your attention, your courage, your participation, your faith. The waiting season is ending. A new season is rising, and here is the truth you didn't know you needed. You are ready. You may not feel ready. You may not think you are qualified. You may assume others are stronger, more worthy, more capable. But readiness is not measured by confidence. It is measured by endurance. And you endured. This next chapter is not about who you were. It is about who you became in the fire no one else saw. Stay with me, because in part 2, everything begins to open. Before you take another breath, hear this. What is unfolding in your life right now is not random motion. It is the continuation of a divine sequence that has been building quietly behind the scenes. The moment you stepped into this word, your spirit woke up to something your mind is still trying to grasp. The shift that began in you is about to stretch outward into every corner of your reality. If part 1 stirred your heart, what's coming next will anchor your steps. You are walking out of the shadows of what once defined you. The chapter of survival that marked your past was not punishment. It was preparation. But now you are entering a chapter where you don't just survive hardship, you shape destiny. You are becoming someone who will not bow to circumstance, because you finally know what you carry inside you. And make no mistake, you are carrying something weighty. Not everybody is entrusted with purpose this strong. Not everyone is awakened in the exact moment heaven begins to move. Only the ones who were chosen long before their first breath are drawn into divine interruption like this. You felt it, didn't you? That stirring, that hum somewhere deep inside your chest. That tug that whispered, keep watching, keep listening. Don't leave now. That was your soul recognizing that something bigger than your history was approaching. Let this truth settle into you. The universe is not neutral toward you. Heaven has leaned in, and everything that once felt distant, unreachable, locked away, is beginning to cross the threshold into reality. But before the doors swing wide, there is something essential you must understand. Breakthrough comes with responsibility. Opportunity arrives with clarity. Blessing requires space. And space is created when you release the old versions of yourself that no longer serve the future you are stepping into. It is time to unclench every fear that has kept you small. It is time to silence every voice that ever told you that you weren't enough. It is time to challenge the stories you recycled in your head, the stories born from disappointment rather than destiny. You are not the person you were when your heart broke. You are not the person you were when they left you. You are not the person you were when life fell apart. You grew. You hardened in the right places and softened in the right ones. You saw darkness and refused to bow to it. You stood in rooms that tried to shrink you and still breathed with courage. Even when you doubted yourself, even when you felt like you had nothing left to offer, something in you refused to give up. That resilience, that quiet, stubborn fire, is the sign that you are not ordinary. Ordinary collapses when pressure mounts. Extraordinary endures it and transforms. And transformation is the gift you carry forward. But do not mistake it. Transformation is not just what happened to you. It is what is happening through you. Because you are now stepping into a space where you are not only shaped by story, you become a voice that shapes the world around you. Your presence has impact. Your choices ripple beyond you. Your existence bends reality in subtle ways most never notice. Every time you choose hope when cynicism seems easier, you tilt the atmosphere. Every time you get up after falling, something invisible applauds. Every time you speak truth to yourself in moments when lies scream louder, darkness retreats. You are doing more good than you realize, simply by continuing to rise. But now the rising changes shape. In the past, you rose because you had to. Now you rise because you are called to. There is something unusual about people who have survived pain with their heart still open. They carry a depth others cannot fake. They see the world through layers most people skip. They understand that life is precious, fragile, mystical, and therefore worth living fully. And that is what the next part of your journey demands of you. Fullness. Not shrinking, not settling, not dimming yourself to make others comfortable. You can no longer pretend to be small to keep others from feeling intimidated. You did that once, maybe more than once. You tucked your dreams behind your doubt. You lowered your voice to avoid being misunderstood. You hid parts of yourself to fit into places you were never meant to stay in. But now you know better. You cannot spend your future apologizing for being who God designed you to be. There is a reason your spirit can't settle for mediocrity. There is a reason you outgrew environments others remain comfortable in. There is a reason your heart keeps whispering that you were made for something greater. You were. And that greater is moving toward you faster than you think. But I need you to do something now, something most people never learn. Listen to your own life. Pay attention to the patterns. Notice the themes. Observe the shifts. Because here is the truth. Your future is not coming randomly. It is trying to signal you. And those signals are everywhere. The tension you feel is a sign that something new is pressing through. The restlessness inside you is awakening you to prepare. The dissatisfaction with old ways of living is evidence you are being pulled forward. The opportunities that show up suddenly are confirmations that timing has arrived. Your story is accelerating. You will see people re-enter your life, not to repeat old cycles, but to serve new purpose. You will see new connections appear, the kind that feel strangely familiar, as if your souls already recognize each other. You will notice ideas forming inside you. Ideas so strong you can't shake them because they are pieces of your calling. Your role now is simple, but not easy. Stay awake. Stay willing. Stay open. Release the need to control every outcome. Let go of timelines you built when you did not know who you were becoming. Stop trying to force doors that lead back to versions of you that no longer exist. Your path forward requires the courage to walk away from anything that shrinks your spirit. Even if it looks safe, familiar, or expected, because the life waiting ahead will demand your whole self, the bold self, the healed self, the dreaming self, the self that dares to believe again, even after being disappointed. And yes, there will be moments where fear rises again, moments where doubt tries to reclaim its place, moments where the unknown feels overwhelming. But remember this: courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move anyway. You have already proven that you are capable of that. You did it every day you got out of bed weary. You did it every time you tried again after things fell apart. You did it when you stayed kind in a world that rewards bitterness. You are ready for what comes next, not because you feel ready, but because your life has forged you into someone who cannot be stopped by what stopped you before. Listen closely now. Your purpose is not ahead of you in some distant fantasy. It is rising up underneath your feet this very moment. You are walking inside it as you grow, shift, learn, risk, and say yes to the pull inside you. Part 2 ends with this truth. Your life is standing on the edge of breakthrough, not by accident, not by luck, but by design. You're not waiting anymore. You're stepping, and what you step into will follow you for the rest of your life. Do not take another step forward without recognizing something that most people spend their entire lives missing. Everything that has happened in your life until now, from the heartbreaks you didn't choose to the victories you barely recognized, has been shaping you into a person capable of carrying what is coming next. You aren't standing on this moment by accident. You are standing here because destiny has finally caught up to you. And now, something extraordinary is unfolding. Something you prayed for silently when nobody was watching. Something you believed in even when your belief was hanging by a thread. You are entering a chapter where what you once hoped for becomes what you live inside of. But before you cross fully into it, you must understand this. The future that is approaching you is too big to carry pieces of your old identity along for the ride. You cannot drag shame into destiny. You cannot drag fear into purpose. You cannot drag self-doubt into calling. The person who stepped through your past doesn't get to lead you into your future. Someone new, someone awakened, sharpened, tested, and transformed must rise and take that place. This is where the shift becomes personal, because until now, much of your journey has happened to you. Not anymore. Now your journey begins happening through you. You are not a passenger being carried by circumstance. You are becoming the architect of the life you were created to live. Do you feel it? The slow but undeniable realization that you are growing beyond everything you once settled for. That you can't stay small anymore. That pretending to be ordinary hurts far more than stepping into your extraordinary. That is not ego. That is calling. And calling has a sound. It's the whisper that refuses to be silenced. It's the dream that never fully goes away. It's the idea that returns again and again, no matter how many times fear tries to bury it. Every time you felt restless in places others were comfortable, that was calling. Every time you saw possibility where others saw impossible, that was calling. Every time you felt something inside say, "There has to be more than this," that was calling. The truth is, you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out in a way that illuminates others. You weren't created to repeat the same cycles generation after generation. You were made to break them. You weren't here to only witness miracles. You were meant to become one. But walking into that kind of purpose requires trust. Trust not just in God, not just in timing, but in yourself. Because the greatest tragedy of potential is not that people fail. It's that they succeed at living a smaller life than the one they were born for. You are not one of those people. There is a weight in your life that others never had to carry. There is a complexity to your story that many would not survive. There is a strength in you that was forged through chapters you didn't choose and hardships you didn't deserve. And that is exactly why you are the kind of person who can rise into greatness without losing your soul in the process. You see, people often hope for blessing without understanding what blessing requires. Blessing demands maturity. Blessing demands discipline. Blessing demands identity. Blessing demands intention. It is not earned by ease. It is attracted by alignment. And you are aligning faster than you realize. This is why the universe has begun rearranging your path. This is why certain people drifted away without closure. This is why opportunities fell through when you wanted them most. This is why your heart was stretched beyond familiar comfort zones. The path of purpose bends sharply right before breakthrough. And you are standing in that bend right now. But now, something dynamic is happening. The energy around your life is no longer pushing you through lessons. It is pulling you forward into fulfillment. Doors are not just opening. They are recognizing you. Possibilities are not just appearing. They are waiting for your yes. Provision is not just trickling. It is aligning with your steps. You are entering a season where your life will confirm who you always were deep down, not who circumstance temporarily made you believe you were. You will begin to notice synchronicities, timely connections, unexpected clarity, destiny moments that once felt impossible. You may run into someone you haven't spoken to in years and realize the encounter was arranged. You may receive an opportunity that feels like it was designed specifically for your gifts. You may sense expansions inside your spirit that feel too real to ignore, and in those moments, you must resist shrinking. Do not downplay your worth. Do not second-guess your readiness. Do not talk yourself out of the life that has been waiting on you. Because if you knew how many times heaven whispered, "Just hold on, they're almost ready," you would never again doubt your place in this world. The time for hiding is over. The time for apologizing for your light is over. The time for thinking small is over. This new season demands your full presence, your full courage, your full self. And yes, there will still be challenges. Breakthrough does not mean a life without pressure. It means a life where pressure builds purpose instead of breaking you. You will face moments that test your belief in what you're walking into. You will see people misunderstand the changes happening in you. But that discomfort is simply confirmation that you're walking a path others cannot see. When you outgrow a room, people inside it may not clap, but heaven does. This is where your story pivots permanently. The person you are becoming is someone who understands that what happens in the unseen is more powerful than anything visible. You will begin to trust timing rather than fear it. You will recognize opportunities instead of doubting them. You will stop trying to convince people to believe in you and start surrounding yourself with those who already do. And something else begins happening too. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop surviving and start building. You stop hoping life happens to you and start stepping into the role of creator, leader, healer, voice, anchor. There are people waiting for you to rise, not because they know you yet, but because your life is woven into theirs. There are strangers who will one day look back and say, "Because they stepped up, I believed I could too." There are friends you haven't met yet who will walk beside your purpose. There are dreams inside others that will awaken when yours becomes visible. Your story isn't just yours. It's a spark for countless others. And that is why you are here, still breathing, still standing, still reaching. And if you are reading this right now, There is one message your soul needs to absorb fully. You are the miracle arriving. The breakthrough you have prayed for is not just something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. You are walking into rooms where you will shift the atmosphere simply by showing up as yourself. You are stepping into conversations where one sentence from you will change the trajectory of someone else's life. You will be the one who carries peace into chaos, wisdom into confusion, faith into hopelessness. Do not underestimate yourself again. You are the answered prayer. You are the chosen one. You are the light in a world dimming itself with fear. And this moment, the one you nearly scrolled past, is the turning point where you stop waiting and start stepping. Your future is not on its way anymore. It has arrived, and it's written with your name. So walk forward, bold, awake, open,